Pigeons are a coastal bird that would once have inhabited cliff faces. Today, the pigeon, like many other birds, has learned that humans offer the best food source. From bins to bird tables, the pigeon is a common sight. Let's take a look at some pigeon facts and learn more about this nuisance bird. The feral domestic pigeon is the species of pigeon most pest control calls relate to. With a large population, they also flock and roost in large numbers. Origins of the pigeon. The feral domestic, or rock, pigeon can be found in towns and cities all across the world. Some species are native to a country, but the early explorers often took different species of birds and animals with them, introducing them to new terrain. The feral domestic pigeon is known to be a mix of several different early species of pigeons that readily mated. Gender. You can't tell a male and female pigeon apart just by their color. Similar in markings and colors, only a trained eye can easily determine the gender of adult pigeons. The male pigeon tends to have a thicker head and wider neck, looking more robust than a female of the same species. Habitat. The natural habitat of a pigeon is coastal cliff tops. But, with humans offering a ready food supply in the shape of waste, the ledges of buildings, including homes and city centers' properties, make the perfect substitute for the cliff edges they would normally occupy. Diseases. Pigeons don't carry diseases specific to them, but like geese, starlings, and house sparrows, they do carry a transmissible disease known as histoplasmosis. This is a respiratory disease that can be fatal. It is caused by inhaling the fungus that grows on bird droppings. Hence, many people living in flats with balconies will need to take measures to keep pigeons from roosting on balconies, etc. Pigeons also carry candidiasis, a yeast or fungal infection that can be unpleasant. Lifespan. In captivity, a pigeon can live for up to 15 years. However, in the wild, a pigeon tends to live for between 3 to 4 years. Breeding. Evidence suggests that pigeons mate for life, and although monogamy is mainly followed, extra mates are not uncommon, something that is triggered by the male. Female pigeons produce crop milk, also known as pigeon milk, which she reproduces to feed her young. This means that pigeons can breed all year round. Interesting pigeon facts. The pigeon is a war hero, with many trained carrier pigeons successfully delivering 95% of mail and messages during both the First and Second World Wars. In fact, pigeons were used as messengers as far back as Roman times. Pigeons' eyes on the sides of their heads mean they see differently to us, and bobbing their head improves their vision. They also bob their head to attract their lifelong mate. If the conditions are at their optimum, great nest locations, plenty of food, etc., pigeons can mate and produce eggs up to 8 times a year. The young don't leave the nest until they are 2 months old, and that's why you don't see baby pigeons around. The pigeon is an intelligent bird, having passed the mirror test. In other words, it can recognize its own reflection. What to do if you have a pigeon problem? While it is useful to know some pigeon facts, it is more important to know what to do if you have a pigeon problem. This bird will flock and roost in large numbers. Their wet droppings on pavements can be slippery, as well as unsightly. Likewise, pigeon droppings on the facade of buildings slowly eroded too. Although they don't dive bomb like seagulls can, there is no denying that the pigeon can be a nuisance. The law stipulates that action can be taken to control their population on land, but that you cannot interfere with their nests, other than for reasons stipulated under what is known as general licenses. That is why you should always consult with a professional, licensed bird control professional to deal with your nuisance bird problem. Pigeons are gentle, plump, small-billed birds with a skin saddle, cere, between the bill and forehead. All pigeons strut about with a characteristic bobbing of the head. Because of their long wings and powerful flight muscles, they are strong, swift flyers. Pigeons are monogamous, i.e., they mate for life, and the survivor accepts a new mate only slowly. The female lays 2 glossy white eggs in a flimsy nest that barely holds them. The female generally incubates the eggs by night, the male by day. The incubation period is 14 to 19 days, but the young are cared for in the nest for another 12 to 18 days. Homing pigeons, Columba livia, possess a group of neurons that are used to help the birds process changes in the direction, intensity, and polarity of magnetic fields around them. The sensitivity of the pigeons to these physical properties allows them to determine their directional heading and altitude by using Earth's magnetic field. The identity of the physical structure within the pigeon's body that collects this magnetic field information and sends it to the brain remains unknown, but some scientists suspect that it may lie within the inner ear. Subscribe my channel, Pets at Animal, and press bell icon for new update. The numerous genera of pigeons may be classified into subfamilies as follows. The Colemini, the typical, or true, pigeons, consists of about 175 species in about 30 genera. These often gregarious seed and fruit eaters are found worldwide in temperate and tropical regions. Some are ground feeders, others feed partly or wholly in trees. They are generally colored soft gray and brown to black, sometimes with iridescent patches on the plumage. The cosmopolitan genus Columba, including the Old World wood pigeons and the New World band-tailed pigeons, is classified in this group, along with the Streptoplia species, the Old World turtle doves and ring doves. To this genus also belong the street pigeons so common in urban areas. These are composed of a bewildering array of crossbreeds of domesticated strains, all of them ultimately traceable to the Old World rock dove, Columba livia. The rock dove is typically dull in color, gray and white rump and two large black wing bars. This Eurasian species nests above 5,000 feet, 1,525 meters, in Asia. It has been domesticated and selectively bred since 3000 BCE with the production of numerous color variants, and about 200 named strains: show pigeons, racing pigeons, and large edible types. Among such strains, pouter pigeons have a large, inflatable gullet, carrier pigeons have a long bill, runts, a massive bill and body, barbs, a short bill. Fantails may have 42 tail feathers, owl pigeons have diverging throat feathers, frillbacks, the feathers reversed, Jacobins, hood-like neck feathers. Tumblers tumble backward in flight. The many other Old World genera in the subfamily Colemini include the chicken-sized pheasant pigeon, Otodiphaps nobilis, of New Guinea. In the New World, the white-winged doves and the mourning dove, Zenita, are popular game birds. Central and South America support the terrestrial ground doves, Metreoplia, and quail doves, Geotrigon. The New World passenger pigeon is extinct. The Trironini, or the fruit pigeons, consists of about 115 species in about 10 genera, found primarily in Africa, Southern Asia, Australia, and the Pacific Islands. These fruit-eating birds are soft-billed, short-legged, and arboreal in habit. Their plumage is usually greenish, often with yellow, red, or other brightly colored markings. The group includes the heavy-set imperial pigeons, Docola, the small and extremely colorful fruit doves, Tilenopus, the blue pigeons, Alectroinas, dark blue in color with red wattles, and the usually crimson-legged green pigeons, Triron. The Gorini, or crowned pigeons, consists solely of 3 species, genus Goura, found in New Guinea. Blue-gray birds with fan-like head crests, they are the largest of all pigeons, nearly the size of a turkey. The Didunculini consists of a single species, the tooth-billed pigeon, Didunculus strigerostris, which is native to Samoa. This fruit-eating, terrestrial pigeon has adopted arboreal ways in response to near extermination by introduced predators. Unlike most pigeons, it uses its feet to hold down its food while pecking off pieces. Everywhere people are found. Pigeons are especially numerous in urban areas and can be found in public parks as well as more industrialized, developed spaces. They nest in areas that protect them from the elements such as lofts, attics, and under architectural ornamentation. Breeding. Pigeons are monogamous and will lay 1 to 2 eggs, which hatch in about 18 days. They reproduce year-round, with the young leaving the nest after 4 to 6 weeks, during which time more eggs are laid. Food and feeding. They will eat just about anything. Morphology and lifestyle. Length, 27 centimeters on average. Weight, 370 grams on average. Calls, coos, Moans and grunts. Lifespan, 3–4 years. Droppings cause vegetation to decay, leading to odor problems. Pigeons are not migratory. One pigeon can deposit over 11 kg/pounds of droppings per year. Pigeon nests can cause fires on electrical signs. Pigeons can fly at altitudes up to and beyond 6,000 feet, and at an average speed of 77.6 miles per hour. The fastest recorded speed is 92.5 miles per hour. Pigeons are fed by many members of different religions including Muslims, Hindus, and Sikhs for spiritual reasons. Pigeons are incredibly complex and intelligent animals. They are one of only a small number of species to pass the mirror test, a test of self-recognition. They can also recognize each letter of the human alphabet, differentiate between photographs, and even distinguish different humans within a photograph. Pigeons are renowned for their outstanding navigational abilities. They use a range of skills, such as using the sun as a guide and an internal magnetic compass. A study at Oxford University found that they will also use landmarks as signposts and will travel along man-made roads and motorways, even changing direction at junctions. Pigeons are highly sociable animals. They will often be seen in flocks of 20 to 30 birds. Pigeons mate for life, and tend to raise 2 chicks at the same time. Both female and male pigeons share responsibility of caring for and raising young. Both sexes take turn incubating the eggs and both feed the chicks pigeon milk, a special secretion from the lining of the crop which both sexes produce. Pigeons have excellent hearing abilities. They can detect sounds at far lower frequencies than humans are able to, and can thus hear distant storms and volcanoes. Despite the social perception as dirty and disease-ridden, pigeons are actually very clean animals and there is very little evidence to suggest that they are significant transmitters of disease. Pigeons and humans have lived in close proximity for thousands of years. The first recordings of this date back to Mesopotamia's, modern Iraq, in 3000 BC. Although pigeon droppings are seen by some as a problem in modern society, a few centuries ago pigeon guano was seen as extremely valuable. It was viewed as the best available fertilizer and armed guards would even stand by dovecots, pigeon houses, to stop others taking the droppings. Pigeons can fly at altitudes up to and beyond 6,000 feet, and at an average speed of 77.6 miles per hour. The fastest recorded speed is 92.5 miles per hour. Pigeons are fed by many members of different religions including Muslims, Hindus, and Sikhs for spiritual reasons. Some older Sikhs will ceremoniously feed them in honor of Guru Gobind Singh, a high priest who was renowned as a friend to pigeons.